Every NBA draft has its ups and downs, its winners and its losers. So today I would like to go over my top 5 winners of this past year's NBA draft. My first winner, the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks traded Trey Young and a top 10 pick to Atlanta for Luka Doncic. Now, Trey Young has been a little bit shaky in Summer League, but he does show some potential as a facilitator and shot maker for Atlanta. They also got the top 10 protected pick from Dallas next year. But what Dallas got in return was possibly the best guard in the entire draft by a large margin. Luka Doncic played in arguably the second best league in the world, EuroLeague, and played for one of the best teams in EuroLeague. He averaged 15, 5, and 5 on only 2 turnovers per game, and was also a decent defender at a steal and a block a game. But the potential for this kid at 19 years of age, younger, barely 19 that is, younger than most of the other draft picks in this class, has already shown that he can compete on one of the biggest stages in the world. He led his team to multiple EuroLeague titles and even played as a 16 and 17-year-old in the EuroLeague. So he has tons of experience playing against grown men, possibly good enough to already be in the NBA at such a young age. Now you may be saying, oh, the Atlanta Hawks, they got Trey Young, but Trey Young has also shown flashes of being turnover prone and taking bad shots. But let's not even worry about Trey Young. A lot of people are saying that that draft pick is really what sent this deal through. But look at the situation for the Mavericks now. Harrison Barnes has improved. Dennis Smith Jr. has improved. They're getting Luka Doncic, and they just signed DeAndre Jordan. So clearly that top pick is not going to be as close to number 1 as Atlanta originally thought. DeAndre Jordan's obviously going to make Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic better. He provides a force inside, a lob finisher, and a fantastic interior defender, to where Dallas is definitely going to improve from last season to this season. The next winner in this year's draft has to be the Denver Nuggets. They had the 14th pick, and when I saw Michael Porter Jr. fall all the way out of the top 10, I knew that a team had to take him before the 15th pick. Denver is in a win-win situation here. Michael Porter Jr. is a top 3 talent, no question, when healthy in this draft. Injuries set him back, clearly. His hip injury, his back injury. But if you pull a Joel Embiid scenario where you sit him out for 1, possibly even 2 years, the potential is unbelievable. From his stats in high school, which is really the only stats we have to judge him by, he averaged 37 points and 14 rebounds a game. He is a pure scorer. 6'10", athletic, can dribble like a guard, and has nearly unlimited range. He is so crafty with the basketball, and at pick 14, there is absolutely zero risk in taking him. If the Nuggets land him and get him healthy, they have a top 3 talent that they got in the middle of the first round. If he's injured, it's a 14th pick, to where it's not a franchise-breaking move, such as a number 1 pick bust like Greg Oden or Anthony Bennett. But Michael Porter Jr. has the potential to be probably the best player in this year's draft, and he actually fits in perfectly with the Denver Nuggets. The lineup could be Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, and you could play Paul Millsap and Michael Porter Jr. interchangeably at the 3 and 4, or you could possibly even move Porter Jr. behind Millsap to learn from the veteran along with center Nikola Jokic to create a powerhouse of a lineup for the Denver Nuggets. They also got Justin Jackson in the second round from Maryland, who is a very underrated scorer in my opinion. He's a really good scorer, very long and athletic for his position, so no question about it, the Denver Nuggets were big winners on draft night. My third winner for this year's draft is the Boston Celtics. They only had 1 pick in this year's draft, and they absolutely hit a home run. They were able to select Robert Williams, the forward from Texas A&M, who last year, if he came out, would have been a top 10 to top 15 selection. He came back this past year to Texas A&M and was a bit concerned around his teammates and coaching staff about his work ethic. But that is something that you can adjust. Brad Stevens has been known to get more out of his players than any other coach in the league, and Robert Williams should be no question. He has the athletic tools. He's 6'10", 230, and is an extreme athlete. He's an incredible shot blocker, averaging nearly 3 blocks per game over his college career, and is an incredible rebounder at his size as well. He's very athletic, can block and alter shots anywhere on the floor, and can switch out and guard guards, which is going to be a big part of the Boston defense for years to come. If you can morph his work ethic into something that the people like Marcus Smart and Tatum have, there is no question that Robert Williams can be the starting center for the Boston Celtics as a shot blocker and defender down low for the next years to come. And to think they got him with the 27th pick in the draft. The third draft winner is the LA Clippers. With their 2 lottery picks, they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jerome Robinson. Now, the Clippers have Milos Teodosic, who really hasn't performed as well as people thought he would. But you're getting a 6'6" long athletic guard who can really play make in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and a pure score athlete in Jerome Robinson. First, let's go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Kentucky, he was the leading point guard for them, setting everybody up. His length, he is 6'6". He's a little undersized possibly at his position, but his length and size clearly make up for that, and he can always bulk up later in his career. He can be a really great playmaker. Set up Kevin Knox, set up Isaiah Washington Jr. at Kentucky, and I look for him, as people say, he may be the best guard in this draft, no question about it. It'll be between him and Colin Sexton, in my opinion. But now, who I think is also a little underrated is Jerome Robinson. He played 3 years of Boston College, got constant minutes the entire time, and raised his scoring every single year. He averaged 21 points per game in 36 minutes for Boston College last season, and was very efficient as well. 54% from the field, 41% from the three-point line, and 84% from the free throw line. He is a great spot-up shooter. He can create shots off the dribble, and with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander creating plays for him, I expect his scoring to be really exemplified in his first couple years with the Clippers. The Clippers had 2 chances, and I think they really hit on those 2 chances with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jerome Robinson. And our final winner of this year's draft, the Philadelphia 76ers. If you're trusting the process, you better be trusting it more after this move. Brett Brown, acting as GM after Colangelo left, traded Mikal Bridges, the 10th pick, to Phoenix for Zaire Smith, who is the 16th pick, and a 2021 unprotected Miami Heat first-round pick. Mikal Bridges would probably fit them very well. Zaire Smith is a bit of a project to me. He looks like a pretty good scorer. He's got some good shooting percentages. He's long, he's big, 6'5" for a guard, can fit well. But his playmaking and his overall shooting ability, not from the three-point line, but from the free throw line, are a little bit concerning. He's pretty strong for his size, though. He's 6'5", 200, so he is nobody to be messed with. And probably with Ben Simmons leading the offense, we'll have to see if his shooting percentages translate from college to the NBA game. But what I'm looking at is the 2021 pick that they acquired. The Miami Heat are currently sort of in the no man's land, I like to call it, of the NBA. They're not a great playoff team, but they're not so bad that they can tank. They have Whiteside, Dragic, and they are spending a lot of cap room. I believe they're one of the top 5 or 10 salary payroll paying teams in the entire NBA. So they're paying a lot of luxury tax, and they do not have their 2021 first round pick. Whiteside has been questionable in past years with injuries. Dragic is doing all he can, but he's not a star player by any means. You have decent players. Justice Winslow seems to be a strikeout. Josh Richardson has shown some possibility. Bam Adebayo is still developing. But as the Heat are breaking down, it seems that within that 2020 to 2022 range, the Heat will go into full-on rebuilding mode. And that lands this 2021 pick with Philadelphia in prime position to get a top pick from this trade. Just continuing to bolster all the top draft picks that the Philadelphia 76ers have gotten in the past couple years, except this time they don't actually have to tank themselves. They're going to let the Heat do it for them. Mikal Bridges is a great player, but the 76ers know that within the next 3 years, they are going to be competing to make the NBA Finals in the Eastern Conference. Zaire Smith can learn behind JJ Redick. He can learn behind some of the veteran depth that the 76ers have this year. And I think, along with that 2021 pick, this is a great addition by the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, guys, those were my top 5 winners of this year's NBA draft. I will be coming out with a top 5 losers video as well later on this week. Guys, let me know what you think were the big winners in this year's NBA draft in the comment section below. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and I would really like your input on what you think of my list and what would be on your list. But guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the top 5 losers of this year's NBA draft.